Hello there everybody, how are you guys doing? My name is Gary So and this is Malware 101 episode 1 called Did You Miss Me and part 3 of Did You Miss Me. And this is probably gonna be the last part of this video series. Not series but episode. And it's also gonna be the longest. And before I get started, let me show you this thing. I have all the codes of this virus or project in GitHub and github.com/rowenso/didyoumissme. You can also get the exe format and you can also get the main.cpp. I click on it. Wait a little bit, the internet is very slow. And here it is, all of these codes, you can see them right here. All of them are commented line by line. And now let us start our video. So I'm going to open code block and here is our project. I believe last time we have created a startup function, but I haven't declared this as a variable. It's a string variable called program path and it's assigned to location, which is in the parameter which we would assign when we call it in our main function. And here we've, instead of our name, I have the program path which is going to be stored here, and our path of the program is also going to be stored here. I'm going to minimize it, and now I'm going to start coding the rest of the functions. For example, the first one was to write and read and open notepad. So let us first create a function called did you miss me write, and it is gonna take in a parameter, a string parameter called dir_loc, which is gonna be our directory location. And in this function I'm gonna create a string vbs write. All of the codes of VBS are going to be written here, and I'm going to write VB. I'm going to copy it, paste it here, and plus equal to, I'm going to add in this variable /n, a new line, copy it, paste it, and paste it, and paste it. We are going to write our VBS codes in here. So I'm going to use already defined variable called wish cell, and I'm going to assign this to Windows script script dot create object. It's going to be an object type of / we are gonna add double columns in our VBS code. So we can't use double columns directly because we have not columns, they're not columns, parentheses. Oh no, they are quotation marks. I'm an idiot. We can't have quotation marks without these things, / because we have declared our variable with quotation marks. And I'm gonna write within these quotation marks script right here script dot shell. It's gonna access our shell, and then I'm gonna write in a new line. It would be a do. I'm gonna create a do loop, and then I'm gonna call wsh shell, and I'm gonna send keys using this wscript.shell function. I'm gonna send keys with our in our user's computer. So our keys are again gonna be in parentheses, what we call not parentheses, quotation marks, and my key, I'm gonna send did you miss me question mark question mark question mark. I'm gonna add a space there. I'm gonna copy it, paste it almost 3 times, and I'm gonna end the loop right here. And I've ended the loop right here. These are almost all the codes of VBS to send keys of the GMSME. And I'm gonna create a file, output stream, and I'm gonna call this file write write file. It's gonna be called did no spaces you mess me right did you mess me right dot VBS. We are going to create a file called did you mess me right dot VBS, and I'm gonna output all of those values of right, what do you call them, VBS right into this file, and then I'm gonna close this file write dot close. After closing, then I'm gonna check our, what do we call it, this program. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna add one more enter there, SYSTEM system, copy it, paste it, and end it. And right now I'm gonna commit the loop, so it would output 3 of these things. Let me not hold the P in object debug. No, they're in fin debug. Yeah, our program ran successfully. It was built successfully with 3 warnings. We can ignore the warnings, and I'm going to double click on it. Okay, did not create our file. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot to call this function. I'm gonna say prototype a call and call dot did you miss me right? Yeah. And what should I'm gonna send in file location and save it, build it. Now I should create a file with these codes. I think it's still building. Yeah, it's built. Now let me run it. I click here. It should right there you can see it just wrote did you miss me question marks, and here is our VBS file. Where did it vanish to? It's here. You can see it right here. And now I'm gonna create one more function which would yes. Yeah, right here. I'm gonna minimize this function. I'm gonna create a function called string that you did you miss me, and read. It's also gonna take in a parameter called dir lock, and I'm gonna create a string variable called vbs read. I'm gonna do the same thing here. New line, copy it, paste it, paste it. Now then, I'm gonna create a variable dim. My first variable is gonna be text, and the variable is gonna be speech. There are two variables, dim and speech. I'm gonna set speech to object type, create object of the JICT object, and it's gonna be SAPI SP voice. You can also change the voice. There are documentations about it, you can check them out, but I'm gonna use the default voice, SAPI voice. And my text is gonna be equal to it's a string text. It's gonna be equal to did you mess me. I'm not gonna add question marks or full stops here because I don't want any of gaps in there. And paste it a couple of times. It's good. And remove this last one. Now I'm gonna create a do loop. I'm gonna make it I'm gonna make a speech from a speech function. I'm gonna call speak. I'm gonna speak text, and now I'm gonna need to end the loop plus equal to forward slash and a new line, and that's it. And now I should create a file. It should be like this: of stream read file. I'm gonna create a file called the read dot vbs. I forgot to put them in quotation marks. And I'm gonna output all of those codes in vbs read a string into our file, and then I'm gonna close the file, doors close. Now let us run it. System, copy it from there, paste it here. I'm gonna comment the loop now. Comment the loop and build it, and it is successfully built with 4 warnings. I'm gonna change write to read. Now build it. Yeah, the program is built, and let's check it out. Double click on it. Yeah, it's working. You're probably not gonna hear this because I'm recording this audio from a different source, and now I need to create one last function which would be for opening Notepad. I'm gonna call it would be a string, and did you miss me? Open notepad. It's also gonna take in a string parameter which would be equal to deadlock directory location, and I'm gonna create one more string variable. It's gonna be called open open notepad, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do this copying and pasting thing again. That should be good. Now I'm gonna set WSH shell. I'm gonna use the same variable again, which would be equal to WS script, Windows script, and create object or BJCT object. I believe I was at create object, and let us continue our codings. And I'm gonna have a forward slash and quotation marks, forward slash and quotation marks. Oh, forward slash backslashes, and our object type is gonna be W script dot shell, and from W script shell or shell, from shell I'm gonna call the function run, and I'm gonna run our program called, what is it called, notepad. And before getting started, I should tell you where notepad is in Windows directory, then in somewhere in system32, press in a couple of times right here and come down to the NO. It's right here, NOTEPAD. And for some reasons Windows uses and I was saying for some reasons Windows tend to use forward slashes instead of backslashes, while Linux operating systems, Unix and Macs, I believe, and websites or URLs use forward slashes. I don't know why Windows shows it, but anyways, no biggie. And we are gonna use a predefined variable called WinDIR, which is Windows directory, and from that two forward slashes. For example, I wanted to output what do you call it, a quotation mark, so I had to use a forward slash. There's some rule in C++, and in Python too. In most of the languages, the rule is applied. And two forward slashes, and system sys tm32, again two forward slashes, then notepad.exe, and that's the end of our code. And now we are gonna output string notepad file, and two quotation marks. I'm gonna say open notepad.vbs. Our file is gonna be called open notepad.vbs. Then I'm gonna output all of those codes in our variable, notepad. Now save, and then I'm gonna close our file, notepad file, and I'm gonna run our file, copy it and paste it right there. A semicolon or a column, but this thing is called column or maybe a semicolon. Anyways, I don't care about it. And now I'm gonna call our function, build it. Let us wait a couple of minutes or maybe seconds. How long would it take? And yeah, it's built with path warnings. We can always ignore them. And now I'm gonna go to our debug directory, run it, wait till it opens. I created a file with Open NotePad. Now we have 3 files. We have successfully created 3 files. I mean, one by one we have created them. But anyways, it would work for me. And I'm gonna close it. And what more? And all of those things were for testing purposes. And I'm gonna remove it. And in main, if I was to console out our this location, a file location, and build it with and run it, you can see after all of these things, and from our current directory it displays our application name, and we don't want this. We want to remove our application name and add these 3 things, because we want to set them on a startup, not the program. And to do so, I'm gonna have to create a new variable, a string, 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 which would be called their directory. It would be equal to file location, and another string variable called app, your final directory. It would be equal to directory. Now I'm gonna subtract from subtract from our directory location, this one. We are gonna remove the first. Let me write it. Find last of, and that is it. I don't think it would be like this. But anyways, I'm gonna subtract the first backslash from our this string variable. I'm gonna output them both, console out, or where to say, I did not add a semicolon there, and console out file location, and then yeah, that would be like that, and fdir final directory. Let's build it. And run it. You can see we have successfully removed our application name and now we can add those two files in. So let's do that. And I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna come back to the first function, which is not the first, second one. It's a variable, this thing. And I'm gonna remove this because I don't wanna run our program on directly. I'm gonna set it on a startup when I want our virus to take effect when the user restarts their PC. Because we don't wanna let them know that their PC has been armed or anything. And I'm gonna say string right equal to direct location. We will pass in that location, and we are gonna add our application name, 2 forward slashes, and one would be outputting 1 forward slash and our application name. That would be it. And I'm gonna return return right. And before doing anything else, I'm gonna console out because I wanna test it. Testing is a good thing. You wanna always test your applications before doing anything stupid. And I'm gonna call our function prototype a call and all dot. Was it read? Yeah, it was read. Before I passed file location, now I'm gonna pass in fdir. So I'm gonna build and run this thing. It's a successfully run. Yeah, it ran, and here it is, a file location of did you miss me read? Did you miss me write? .pbs. It's not read, it's write. And I'm gonna not output it, and I'm gonna copy it and paste it there because I'm a very lazy person. I don't wanna rewrite them when I can copy them. Because a great personality once said, why write something when you can copy them? Yeah, I think that's what. See, now I'm gonna change write from read and copy this one, paste, copy it and paste it here, and copy it, paste it here. I want to thank the guy that invented copy and paste because it makes things very easier. Copy it and paste it here, and instead of read I'm gonna use note. Copy it, paste it, copy it, paste it. I think now we are done. All we need to do is call them. And before calling them, I think I explained them. If I had not, then let me do it again. And we are creating a variable called program path, which is equal to location, which we are gonna pass into the parameter of this function. And the location of that program are gonna be there are gonna be 3 locations, one for writing, one for reading, and one for opening notepad. And we are gonna set their name and location the same thing. If you want, you can change them. But reset. I'm gonna comment this thing just for commenting is a good thing because you don't want to forget what you have written. I'm gonna comment it for writing, copy it, paste it for reading, and for opening ing notepad, for opening notepad. Now let's call our program. I mean, not program, functions. Those are the same thing. And now I'm gonna call a start off, and in its parameter I'm gonna set our function that you made me write, and in its parameter I'm gonna set file directory. Now here's the thing, I'm calling startup function. It is a parameter, and our parameter for this thing is on the out. You can see I've returned right. Now it's returning right. Right is equal to directory location plus that you must me read.vbs, and it's gonna return that file location of our program, or this for our reading, for our writing, what we call it, for our writing the gmsme thing, and we are setting them here and putting those values in here. And now it takes in a value which is equal to the file location. Let's see here. I think I've explained it well. I can't explain it any better. And now I'm gonna call. Oh wait, I think I should copy and paste them again. Copy it, paste it, and paste it. Now this one is gonna be for reading. READ. And those are the same things. And the last one is gonna be for opening notepad. And that's it. I'm gonna comment here, calling our methods. Yes, methods. And before doing anything, let me press Windows key and R, or super key you could call it, and type in reg edit, register edit, or registry edit, and it asks me for a yes and no. I mean, it's asking for administration privileges, and I said yay, give me administration privileges because I am an admin. And now our locations are, we're setting them in H key current directory, current user, not directory, and then in software, then in software, then in Windows, not Windows, Microsoft. After Microsoft comes Windows, come down right here, Windows, and in our current version, then in run. All of the things here are for the programs that run on startup. So wait a sec, I'm gonna build it. Oh, I have some error. Did you miss me right? Was not declared in the scope. What? It is declared. Maybe I have some spelling mistakes. Copy it, paste it. No spelling mistakes. No, the same. It's not declared. 3 errors. And oh yeah, I forgot to call this function. wrote them like this. I should call our methods call load method from our class, then this one, this function called load. I just took them as functions, not as methods, because they are in a class. I need to call them from a class. This prototype A, and I was calling them as functions, not as methods. And let's build that again. I think we should not have any errors. Oh no, we don't. And it's built with 2 warnings. And as again, we can always ignore warnings. And when I double click on it, it should, yes, I just read it. It should add our programs right here. You can also test them in here in startup. You can see I have 2 programs on a startup, and now I should have 5. There is our program right here. I'm gonna double click on it. Created 3 files right here, and I'm gonna press F5 to refresh it. And these are our name of our program. You see, the location of our program is our program's name, and this is our program's location. And in task manager and on startup, we have them, and 3 of them are enabled, and their startup impact is not measured. There should not be much of a disaster. Oh wait, I think I forgot to uncomment those. We call them loops. Yeah, let me uncomment them. That's nice, that's good. Let uncommenting them all. And uncomment the loops, because we always want them in a loop, because I'm saying too much because it's right. It's because we want them to do it over and over again, and without loops we can't do it. We wanna know our user. And that's good. When I run it, it should just do all the things it did before, but you can see it did not re-add them. It adds them once. If they exist, then it would not add them again. And before restarting this PC and saying other things, let me give you some assignments. As you know that the location of our files are vulnerable, I don't know how to pronounce it. It is written as something like VULRENAR or something like that, vulnerable or unprotected you could call it. And if they turn on safe mode, they know where these files are stored. And to make it more persuasive, I want to give you some assignments, which would be like copying these files into a different location. For example, you could paste them in Windows directory, or you could paste them in public for users or program file. But to paste them in Windows directory, the user must run it with admin privileges. And I think you should paste them somewhere that would not require admin privileges, and that would be much better. And paste them somewhere that the user would not expect them to be, and set them on a startup from that location, not in this location or current directory, because you know, if they turn on safe mode, the programs on a startup won't run and they can delete them. I guess they are just the assignment. It's one assignment only. I think you can do it. Last time we have ran that application and now we are rebooting our PC. I have already rebooted it and it's saying welcome and it's welcoming me. This code, I like being welcomed, and let's wait till it boots off. And anyways, you should just notepad got opened and that's a good thing. I clicked on it and it's writing did you miss me. That's also good. And it's also reading did you miss me, which is a good thing. And that's it. The end of this video.
Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you miss me?